Thank you, Mr. Finch, for selling this celebration with us this evening. Professor John Penrose has been a member of the Jefferson Community College staff for 36 years. He is the chair of the Lab Sciences Department. He is also currently the president of the College Senate and has served as the president of the College Faculty Association. Professor Penrose has received many awards, including the SUNY Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching, the SUNY Chancellor's Award for Faculty Service, and the Phi Theta Kappa Outstanding Faculty Award in both 2003 and 2012. He has been the advisor for student government. Professor Penrose is the co-chair of the Middle States Self-Study Steering Committee and has also been a peer reviewer on the Middle States Commission for Higher Education. Professor Penrose has been a consultant for educational testing services and the American Chemical Society. He was also a facilitator for the seamless transfer path for SUNY in the chemistry discipline. Not only has Professor Penrose contributed in academics, he has also contributed to athletics at Jefferson. He has been the women's basketball coach and led the women to their first Region 3 championship. He has also acted as the interim athletic director. Furthermore, Professor Penrose has also been inducted into the Jefferson Athletic Hall of Fame. Please welcome Professor John Penrose.
Thank you very much, Emily. Members of the stage party, family members, friends, fellow colleagues, and Phi Theta Kappans, old and new, I'm very honored to be able to speak to you this evening. I have attended many of these ceremonies in past years as an observer and have always been impressed with the rich tradition and the sense of pride which fills this theater on induction night. As a professor at a community college, I like to think that I have impacted the lives of many students over my 36 years here at Jefferson. In fact, it works both ways. I have been impacted so many times by so many students in so many ways, not just by the interaction within the classroom or the chemistry laboratory, but also within other venues, such as athletic competitions, student clubs, and the development of long-term connections after a student leaves Jefferson. Teaching the discipline and helping to develop the character of students go hand in hand for an educator. As a Phi Theta Kappan, you have similar responsibilities. You have an academic responsibility in terms of meeting certain criteria, and you have character responsibilities in regard to broadening your involvement within the organization known as Phi Theta Kappa. When I was asked to speak, I immediately recalled a number of speeches that I have heard over the years. It seemed to me these were always very inspiring speeches delivered by very distinguished members of our administration, such as Vice President Finch, President McCoy, and in past years, President John Deans and Academic Dean Kate Fenlon. Special guest speakers spoke about working hard, meeting your goals, shooting for the stars, and always giving the Phi Theta Kappans a huge and well-deserved pat on the back. I also recalled that in listening to those speeches, short was good, and long was not so good. As Will Rogers said, never miss a good chance to just shut up. I believe my role tonight is to acknowledge the outstanding efforts you have made to become a member of Phi Theta Kappa and to compliment you on those efforts. I will certainly do that, but I also would like you to think a bit beyond tonight and what it really means to be a Phi Theta Kappan. With that thought in mind, I have tried to craft some sort of message that I could deliver to you tonight. First, I tried to determine what sets you apart from other community college students. In going to the Phi Theta Kappa website, I was somewhat surprised to learn that the demographic makeup of Phi Theta Kappa members and the general community college population is generally very similar. As an example, the average age of Phi Theta Kappa members is 28. The average age of community college students nationwide is 28. That average has been fairly constant over the past few years, and with that average age, it occurs to me that most of you, maybe all of you, were not even born when I began teaching here. My students' age is not changing, but mine goes up every year. Somehow that just doesn't seem fair. 38% of Phi Theta Kappa members are first-generation students. The overall percentage for community college students is 36%. I am also a first-generation student, albeit my generation is not quite the same as yours. 45% of Phi Theta Kappa members receive Pell. 38% of all community college students in the country receive Pell. 66% of Phi Theta Kappa members are female. 57% of all community college students are female. And lastly, 44% of Phi Theta Kappa members take at least one developmental course. 60% of all community college nationwide take at least one developmental course. Those numbers being said, there is one glaring statistic which is not comparable between the Phi Theta Kappans and the general community college population, and that is the student success rate. That's defined as meeting graduation requirements and/or transferring to another institution. That value for Phi Theta Kappa members is an astonishing 91%. It is 38% for the overall community college population, 91 to 38. Now, there are perhaps many reasons for this. The academic requirement of a GPA of 3.5 certainly helps, but there also is the inner drive within each of you that impels you to try to do your very best and to meet challenges not necessarily related to academic accomplishments. These are life challenges which we encounter every day of our existence. Everyone in this room has had a bad day, or two, or three, whether it be at home, in the classroom, at a job, with a personal relationship, a residence hall encounter. How one handles those challenges often sets one apart from others, regardless of a GPA number. I would suggest that members of Phi Theta Kappa meet these challenges a bit better than others. Grades are a great barometer to measure academic excellence, but sometimes grades aren't everything. There are other challenges that must be met as well. You probably are aware that Albert Einstein has a number of Ds, that's D as in dog, on his academic transcript. His argument being that classes moved too slowly for him and he lost interest. I feel quite accomplished that I did Einstein 1 better and earned a few Fs along the way. Of course, one very important reason that you are present tonight is that you have met some sort of quantitative measurement, this 2-decimal value that we call the GPA. I understand that an academic honor society must have high standards in regard to academic achievement. However, there are the intangibles, the work ethic, the inner drive, and the quality of mind that have brought you here tonight and will continue to serve you in your academic pursuits. Being a member of Phi Theta Kappa indicates that you have the ability to do great things and be leaders in a variety of venues. What will you do with that ability? Undoubtedly, you are here because you have the unending support of someone or someones who have inspired you to achieve the accomplishments you have earned thus far. There is no way you arrived to this celebration tonight totally on your own. A parent, a sibling, a teacher, a religious leader, a good friend, a husband, a wife, a significant other, a son, a daughter, some other family member, someone has been an integral part of what you have accomplished thus far. Perhaps some of those people are present in the audience tonight. Take a second and reflect about that person or persons. They are as proud of you right now as you are of yourself. Don't forget to thank them or re-thank them for that inspiration at some point. Okay, jumping back to my basic theme of the evening, I found it amazing going to the Phi Theta website that nationwide only 12% of those students invited to become a Phi Theta Kappa actually accept the invitation. So all of these things I have talked about tonight begs the question, why are you about to join Phi Theta Kappa? Are you joining to contribute to one of the 4 hallmarks of the organization, scholarship, leadership, service, or fellowship? Are you joining to benefit the organization? Or are you joining because you thought Phi Theta Kappa might benefit you in some way? Are you joining to have Phi Theta Kappa stamped on your transcript? Or maybe you're joining because you can wear one of these cool sashes at commencement. Or perhaps it was peer pressure. Isn't your real challenge now to determine how you can make Phi Theta Kappa a better organization, a better community of scholars that promotes the 4 fundamental values of the organization. We know you can go into a classroom, a laboratory, an online class, an internship, and do exceedingly well. But what about outside of that academic environment? Do you have it within yourself to help pay back in some way what Phi Theta Kappa actually represents? It's not an easy thing to do. For many of you, learning is easy. Doing the intangibles are sometimes not quite so easy. So as you leave the ceremony tonight, I challenge you, do not be satisfied with the fact that you met the requirements for induction tonight into Phi Theta Kappa. Certainly you should celebrate that accomplishment, for it is very well deserved. But also consider what you can do to further the values of scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship that embody this organization. The challenge is yours. You can be satisfied with what you have already done, or you can challenge yourself to do even more. Prove to everyone that being a Phi Theta Kappan is more than just having a great GPA. It's having the drive and desire to advance the qualities of the organization. In the words of Dr. Seuss, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. So it's your choice. What direction will you choose to go? Congratulations on your accomplishment this evening, but do not be satisfied with this recognition. You have so much more to give. Thank you.